Today we're going to talk about polynomial long division. I know for some people you hear the words long division and you just want to start screaming and running for the hills. Well, we're here to show you that it's not that bad. So we're going to start looking at problems that look like this. 4x squared plus 23x minus 16 divided by x plus 5. You're like, don't know what to do there. So before we dive into that, let's review. Let's review what we do when we have like 48/12 divided by 12. We need to see how many times this 12 can go into 4. Can that happen? No, so we continue on. How many times does 12 go into 48? Now let's try 4 times. We multiply this number by 12, we get 48. We subtract and we get 0. Carry the next number down, a 1. Does 12 go into 1? Nope. We need to put a 0 there as a placeholder. Don't forget that 0. Bring the 12 down. Well, 12 goes into 12 one time. When we subtract that, we get a remainder of 0. There is no remainder. This means that 12 is a factor of 48/12. There's no remainder. Let's look at this problem. Does 63 go into 6? Nope, but it goes into 67 one time. When we multiply, times 63 is 63. Subtract, we're left with 4. Bring down the 1. 63 can't go into that one. Bring down the 5. Now 63, I think, goes in 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 6 is 36 plus 1 is 37. 15 minus 8 is 7. 10 minus 7 is 3. Now, there's nothing else to pull down here. We're not going to extend this out with any kind of decimals, so we have a remainder of 37. So this means 63 is not a factor. The last one. 23 does not go into 1, 15, but it does go into 156. I'm going to guess 7 times. 21, carry 2, 16. That didn't work, way too big. So it's only 6 times. 18, carry 1, it's 13. 8, 18 left over. Bring down the 4. We'll try 5. 5 times, not 5, it's going to be more than 5. 6, 7 maybe? 7 times 3 is 21, carry 2 is 16. Whoop, we can go in more. We can go in 8 times. 24, carry 2, 16 and 2 is 18. We get a remainder of 1. So 23 is not a factor of 1564. So that's a nice little review of long division. Now, how does that work here? Works very similar. So first we have to write this out. We have to make sure we start with, if we start with x squares, we now need x's, which we have, and then our plain numbers. Divided by x plus 5. Now we want to think. We always want to work with our leading term here, x. What do we have to multiply x by to get 4x squared? We want this to get eliminated. So since this is a 1, we definitely have to multiply by 4. And because we want to go to x squared, it is 4x. Now, as we continue working, multiply this out just like before. 4x times x is 4x squared. 4x times 5 is 20x. Now, just like in long division, we need to subtract. 23x minus 20x is just 3x. 4x squared minus 4x squared is nothing. This gets eliminated. That's what we wanted. Bring down the minus 16. What can we multiply x by to get the 3x? There's already just x and x, so we just have to multiply by a number, which is a 3. Multiply again. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract. 3x minus 3x, these cancel. Negative 16 minus 15 is negative 31. So here we end up with the remainder of negative 31. Now this is kind of important because this can tell us that x plus 5 is not a factor of 4x squared plus 23x minus 16. And we're done. Okay. So make sure you got that down. We're going to do another one here. Next problem we have. 3x squared minus 29x plus 56 divided by x minus 7. Now what do we need to multiply x to get to 3x squared? Again, these x's are not the same. I have to get this up to x squared, so I know I have to multiply by an x. And it's going to be a 3x. When we multiply through, 3x times x is, again, there's our 3x squared. 3x times a negative 7 is minus 21x. Subtract. These cancel out. Negative 29 minus a negative 21 will leave us with a negative 8x. Carry down the 56. We have to multiply this by negative 8 to get to negative 8x squared. Multiply through now. Negative 8x squared. Negative 8 times negative 7 is a positive 56. Now this is important. This minus this cancels, and 56 minus 56 ends up being 0. There's no remainder here. That means 3x minus 8 is, or x minus 7 is a factor of 3x squared minus 29x plus 56. We could write this as x minus 7 times 3x minus 8, and we will get that term. That's very important. That's what we're going to be kind of working towards over the next course of the week. Here's number 3. A little bit bigger. 3x to the 4th minus 4x to the 3rd plus 12x squared. Now there's no x's in the next problem, so we have to put in 0x. And then finally, plus 5. Okay, put this out a little more so we can see it. Okay. Now we want to divide this by x squared plus 1. Now, what do we have to multiply x squared to get to 3x to the 4th? It's going to have to be definitely a 3, and it's going to be an x squared. So we want to put it in the same line as the x squares. Just like we would with holding a place value for other numbers. So 3x squared times x squared is 3x to the 4th. 3x squared times 1 is 3x squared. Now, there's no x cubes here. Got to keep that as a placeholder. Remember, keep x to the 4ths in line, x to the 3rds, x squares. Now we subtract. Negative 4x to the 3rd minus nothing is negative 4x to the 3rd. 12x squared minus 3x squared is 9x squared. Carry down the x's. Now we have to multiply x squared by something to get negative 4x to the 3rd. So it's negative 4x. Again, going right in order. If we multiply through, we know it's negative 4x to the 3rd. The negative 4x minus 1 is minus 4x. Again, nothing here in the middle. Subtract it out. We have 9x squared, and 0 minus a negative 4x will be a positive 4x. Bring down the 5. So we have one more to do. We have to multiply this by 9. So 9 times x squared, there's my 9x squared. 9 times 1 is 9. 9x squared minus 9x squared, this cancels. 4x minus nothing is 4x, and 5 minus 9 is a negative 4. So this has a remainder of 4x minus 4. So our final answer here is 3x squared minus 4x plus 9, remainder 4x minus 4. So if this doesn't work out, we could get some ugly answers, but that's okay. Work at this. It's going to take practice. The more and more you do it, the easier it gets. See you next time.